what is up? It is 5 a.m. right now, and I'm doing a Mr. Nightmare video for you guys tonight, or this morning I should say. This is going to be a Christmas-based video. I'm so sorry that I haven't been doing a lot of horror stories lately. I know a lot of you guys, or some of you guys at least, were here for horror stories, and then I kind of totally did a flip to Damian. Damian videos are just so fun to watch. Not that horror stories aren't. I still love watching horror stories, so I'll try getting back on those as well. I'll try doing like a few a week at least, just to kind of like keep up with that. I know suggestions I've been totally a mess on, working full-time 5 days a week. I just haven't been... I feel like my schedule that I had before was easier and more lenient for me to do YouTube videos. And I may be going back to that next year at some point, which is also a day-night rotation, so it's not the greatest as well, but at least it's still kind of something. And it still may cause me to get more videos out more consistently, so rather than working on Monday to Friday schedule. But we have today 3 scary real Christmas horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. I have not watched Mr. Nightmare in a couple weeks or a couple months at this point. I'll try doing some more, of course, come Christmas. I'll try to upload some videos on Christmas. Yeah, you know what I mean? So this is, again, 3 scary real Christmas horror stories. Again, starting now. Having anything bad happen on Christmas is just like a nightmare. Like, it's just really sad and like really... And this is like scary stories, right? So it could be like a break-in, it could be this, it could be that. Like, these are more scary, and it says real. It doesn't say true, but it says real instead. So take with that what you will. It could be real, it could be fake. But either way, I'm just here for the tea. I love hearing horror stories. It obviously makes me nervous considering that any of these stories could happen to me, my family, anybody I know. But yeah, I know it's not Christmas yet, but happy holidays, guys. I will try doing more horror stories coming up, leading up to Christmas and on Christmas and like a bit after Christmas as well. I'll try doing as many videos as I can. Horror stories, Damian, anything like that. But yeah, 3 scary real Christmas horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. Let's dive right on. In 2022. Charlie Labosco. Or Labosco.
It was Christmas Eve night. We always hosted Christmas Eve at our house when I was a kid.
Facts.
My grandparents, uncles, and my cousins would always come. This year I must have been like 12. My mom was making duck, as she always did on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
I was helping her cook and prepare this year because my dad actually had a really bad cold and was trying to not touch anything or stay too close to anyone.
Facts.
Our family slowly started showing up one by one. My Uncle Joe first with my cousins Chris and Valerie. They were the closest in age to me, so I've always been closest with them out of all my cousins.
Okay.
As soon as they got there, I got distracted from helping out my mom, because Chris brought over a video game for my PlayStation that I'd been wanting to play, Driver 2. We ran upstairs to my room to put the disc in and play, and Valerie came just to watch. But within a few minutes, my mom called my name up the stairs angrily, ruining the fun. I was hoping she'd just let me play, but she was already stressed from the amount of work that cooking and preparing for a big family is. So we had to resume playing the game later. We left it on pause, and all 3 of us went back downstairs. Most family had arrived already. I was juggling saying hi to everybody while helping set up the table and stuff. Within half an hour, the whole family was there, and dinner was almost ready. The table was already set, and half the family was already at the dinner table, including myself.
Okay.
And I remember my mom yelling, "Ah, shit." She yelled for me to run to the basement to grab the stuffing, which she forgot to make. Our house didn't have an actual pantry closet, so my mom used the backside of the bar in the basement as a pantry. I went down to the basement to fetch the stuffing. I was behind the bar looking for the damn stuff, when I noticed a blanket covering something in the corner next to the 2 sofas. At first glance, I assumed it was a person, one of my cousins hiding, trying to scare me.
No, it's not your cousin.
I walked a little closer. I could confirm it was a person based on the shape of what was underneath the blanket. I could see the person's head. I stood there waiting to see if they'd react to my not making noise. I was wondering how he or she would know when to jump out to scare me if they couldn't see me under that blanket. Suddenly the lights to the basement turned off, and I heard the basement door slam shut. I yelled "screw you" to whoever it was, Valerie or Chris. I knew it was one of them, not my older cousins. I was going to scare whoever was under the blanket. I had a feeling the 2 of them were trying to mess with me, but now the joke was on them. I was going to scare whoever was under that blanket.
Oh no.
I tiptoed on the carpet to the corner of the room and yanked the blanket off whoever it was and started screaming to scare them. But instead of hearing one of my cousin's childish screams, I heard nothing. Then a very strong grip grabbed me. Whoever it was went for my neck as soon as they felt where it was in the dark.
Oh my god.
For a few seconds I thought it was Chris roughhousing me, and I was screaming at him to stop, but this felt like the grip of a grown man. I started to scream for my life with whatever air was able to escape my lungs.
Fuck, holy fuck.
The door to the basement opened and the light turned on, revealing an old, dirty, disheveled-looking man. He let me go and ran to the basement door which led to the backyard,
What the fuck
not
are you
the
doing
basement
here?
door that led to the upstairs. Half my family came rushing down. I was crying and screaming he went that way, pointing at the open backyard basement door. Two of my uncles ran outside to try to find him, while my mom and aunts came to my side to try to comfort me as I was crying. I was literally shook. My whole body was shaking and I felt ill. My mother called the police to report this. My uncles were out in the streets for like 20 minutes looking from house to house for the man. It made no sense because it didn't look like he would have been able to make it too far, which makes me think he was hiding somewhere in the backyard or a neighbor's yard. The officer said it sounded like some homeless squatter hiding from the cold, and that they'd gotten a number of these calls that month. That didn't make things sound any better after that allegedly homeless man had his hand around my neck.
Yeah.
My cousins were trying to pull a prank on me, hence why they turned the light off and shut the door originally. But this was obviously not part of their plan. So my family learned a valuable lesson at my horrifying expense.
Right?
Always keep every single entrance to your house locked at all times.
I feel like a lot of these are also kind of like, just like basic stuff, like keep your doors locked, keep your windows locked, you know. It's not that, it's not rocket science, it really isn't. Like, obviously you can forget, or like even me, when I go to bed, basically the front door's here, and then like the shoes are all here, like kind of like the corridor area, you know, the keys or whatever. Then there's stairs basically right out the door. So basically, you can basically come in and then go straight upstairs. But basically my point of me saying that is like before I go to bed, I'm downstairs, I make sure the door's locked, and I go upstairs. If I'm ever done and it's locked, I go downstairs, I go like halfway down the stairs, and I can see if it's locked or unlocked, lock it. That's the main door that I check. I don't even check any other doors, to be honest. I mainly check the front door because that's obviously what they would go after. But they obviously could go to a side door or back door, you know? Any kind of break-in or anyone trying to get in or gain access, right? But it definitely is scary, so please lock your doors and be careful. Because, again, you never know who's lurking in your backyard. I don't know who's in the backyard right now. Hopefully nobody. It's currently 5:04 in the morning, so hopefully no one's back there. But someone could be, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta be careful. You gotta have everything locked. You gotta have everything secured. So, yeah. Cody Blaze. Yeah, that's terrifying though. 12 years old?
It was Christmas Eve night. I was a little kid.
Of course, it's all little kids on Christmas Eve. Like, bro, Christmas Eve is when we have our dinner and when we open all our presents and everything. Please, I don't want a horror story on Christmas Eve. That's just so like traumatizing because then it's like you remember that every single year. So it just traumatizes the whole yearly occurrence of Christmas Eve, and then it's just like, fuck, it just scars
Dad
you.
was briefly dating this woman named Sydney. My mom died when I was really young, so for most of my childhood, I didn't know what it was like.
I'm backing that up because I thought he said that the little kid was dating a woman. I'm like, pardon me?
Christmas Eve night. I was a little kid. My dad was briefly dating this woman named Sydney.
That makes more sense.
My mom died when I was really young, so for most of my childhood, I didn't know what it was like having a motherly figure in the house. When my dad started seeing Sydney, she would spend the weekends at our house once in a while, and my siblings and I liked that. Sydney always seemed like a decent woman, but I was a little kid, and I was perhaps biased because I just liked having a woman in the house. It was Christmas Eve. Sydney was spending the weekend with us for Christmas. I don't think she had much family herself. We watched the movie Elf as a family. My brother, sister, dad, and Sydney.
Oh, sorry. It's always great watching watching movies together, like Christmas movies. Everyone around the TV. It's always just such a nice feeling just to have all your family around you and then all watching like something with you. It's just like such a nice feeling. I love it, guys. It's just so fun.
After the movie ended, my dad and Sydney went to bed. I stayed up with my brother a little later to watch the Polar Express. Around the time the movie ended, Sydney came downstairs to tell us that it's maybe time to go to sleep. I was young, but I was old enough to be suspicious about Santa Claus by now, and I had a feeling it was always my dad putting the gifts under the tree. I went to my room to play video games for a few hours.
Like how old? Like a little kid, like 10,
I snuck
5?
out of my room around 12 o'clock to see if the presents were under the tree yet. My bedroom was the only bedroom on the den level, so every other bedroom was upstairs.
Okay.
The living room and tree were on the first level, a half flight of stairs above my bedroom. I snuck out of my room and tiptoed up the stairs. I peered into the living room, which was lit up by the Christmas tree.
You guys keep your lights, your Christmas tree lights on overnight? Like, lights outside, I keep them on because we have a sensor. Lights turn on when it's dark and then turn off when it's light. But here I just have them on from 4 p.m. till 10 p.m. I'll of course extend it for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and New Year's Day and everything, but for now it's just been till 10 p.m. I'll probably increase it to like 11 or 12 soon.
There were presents under there, and there was Sydney under the tree. At first I thought she was placing the gifts there.
Like she's lying under the tree, or what? Let me back that up again. I think I missed something here. Like there was no presents, but Cindy was under the tree? Or sorry, Sydney?
I peered into the living room, which was lit up by the Christmas tree. There were presents under there, and there was Sydney under the tree. At first I thought she was placing the gifts there.
Is she still in
I
presents?
thought I was right all along, that Santa wasn't real. But I quickly realized she wasn't placing the gifts there. She was shaking them, like trying to figure out what's inside of the boxes.
That's kind of sus. That's not your
She picked
job.
up one gift, which was in a gift bag, started digging through it, and pulled out something that looked like it was for my sister, like makeup. She analyzed it and put it back in the bag. I didn't know what she was doing, but I kept watching. I saw her walk to the kitchen and go to the ledge where my dad keeps his wallet. What I saw next, I couldn't believe. She went through my dad's wallet and took out a few bills and put it in the pocket of her pajama pants. I kept watching as she went into the cabinet above the ledge, the medicine cabinet. She took out what looked to be one of my dad's prescription medication bottles. She started analyzing it.
What?
She opened it, sniffed it, and then looked to her left, right at me. It was as if she was about to do something very bad and was checking that the coast was clear first, and she saw me right away. Her eyes widened, and she put the bottle back in the cabinet.
Bitch, your
I
car.
hurried down the stairs back to my room and crawled into bed, with my little kid mind thinking I somehow could still pretend to be asleep. Seconds later, the door creaked open and then shut. I didn't look, but I didn't know if she entered the room or not. A few minutes passed, and I finally felt it was safe to check if she was gone. I looked up, and Sydney was standing right over my bed. I gasped and almost screamed. She looked down at me. All I could see was the silhouette of her figure, making the sight of her even creepier.
Fuck.
She said she saw me watching her, and said in this angry whisper that she wasn't doing anything wrong.
Yeah, okay, bitch. Fuck. I may be a little kid, but I'm not stupid. Unless you have a valid explanation for stealing bills, for looking at your dad's pills, or sniffing it. What? Like, what are you doing? Looking into presents, trying to steal presents? Like, what are you doing, fam? Oh, that's not sus at all.
She just wanted to make sure my dad was taking his medication.
And being under the tree, and taking stuff from the wallet.
Replied okay. She said Merry Christmas and left the room. The next day, after we opened...
Plus, he was lying there for 5 minutes, for a few minutes, and then what, she just, like, stood there the whole time? Just for a few minutes until he looked at her? I don't think so.
Gifts. My dad came into the living room angrily and said, "Who took $60 out of my wallet?"
Mm-hmm.
I looked at Sydney right away, who glanced back at me as if she knew that I knew.
Mm-hmm.
At that moment, I didn't tell my dad what I saw. But later that day, when my dad was still angry at my siblings and I, thinking one of us did it, I told him the truth of what I saw. My dad didn't believe me at first, but when I told him that she was going through his medication too, he started to believe me, because why would I lie about that? Later that night, this created for a rather loud conversation between the two of them.
Yikes.
But shockingly, my dad didn't ask Sydney to leave. She didn't admit to stealing his money, and I think my dad simply didn't know what to do. That night, I had my bedroom door locked, which my dad always told us to never do. But I just felt safer with it locked that night, and thank God I did lock it, because around the same time as the night before, I heard the doorknob to my bedroom door jiggle a few times. It was undoubtedly her, which the next day I confirmed when I asked my dad if it was him, and he said no. After she left that night, I begged and pleaded my dad to not have her over anymore because she scared me, and it looked like she was going to do something to his medication. I'm grateful my dad listened to me, because he stopped seeing Sydney shortly after that. I wonder what she was actually going to do to his medication, if she didn't notice me watching her.
Sorry, so for some reason I was kind of like mixed up. Because the dad is the one dating Sydney. Like, the kid's dad is the one dating her, right? So it's like him and then them two, right? For some reason I thought it was like the dad's dad or something. So like a grandpa or something. I don't know. I got kind of confused there, but okay, that makes more sense. So the dad is like who the girl was dating, right? So okay, that makes more sense. But that's so weird though. Like, what the fuck was Sydney doing? Like, that's so creepy. And like always coming into the room, it's like, what do you... I feel like she would have like hurt him or something, but obviously she'd go to jail. Unless she hurt him and then ran away. I have no idea. But still. That's fucked. Mike Newman.
Christmas night of 2021. It was a Saturday night. I went up to Vermont to be with my family for the holiday and stay with them for the weekend. I was staying there from Saturday, Christmas Day, to Monday.
I love like the creepy kind of Christmas music. It's like Christmas, but it's like creepy at the same time. It's like scary, and it's like, oh, it just kind of gets you like feeling a certain type of way, you know?
Monday. For Christmas Eve, I went with my girlfriend's or her family's gathering. For actual Christmas, I'd be with mine. She didn't come with me, though. Our Christmas gathering wasn't huge, since our family's so spread out over the East Coast. It was my parents, my older brother, his girlfriend, my aunt and uncle, and myself.
It's kind
The
of
house is big enough to accommodate all of us. We all did
That's a big house if that's the house.
A movie together after dinner with a fireplace going. This year we watched Bad Santa, one of my dad's favorite Christmas movies. After the movie, we had pumpkin pie and ice cream, and afterwards played cards. Around 11, everyone started to get situated wherever they were sleeping. My brother and his girlfriend took one of the 2 spare bedrooms. My aunt and uncle took the second. There was a nice pull-out couch in the living room that I'd be sleeping on, which I did not mind. I liked being able to sleep by the fireplace and tree. It was very cozy. I had the TV on as I was nodding off. When I felt that I was about to fall asleep, I turned off the TV and Christmas tree lights. The fire was breathing its last breaths, and the room was just about pitch black. My memory faded into a dream actually about Christmas and my family. Only in my dream, we weren't at my parents' house, we were at my uncle's house, and more of my family members were there, like my cousin Jackie and my aunt Melissa. It wasn't a very exciting or unusual dream. We were at the dinner table, when suddenly all of my family members in my dream stopped talking, turned and looked at me, and my aunt Melissa said in a very serious voice, "There's someone in the house, wake up." I actually woke up after this, and my heart was already racing for some reason.
Oh shit.
The way my dream ended genuinely disturbed me.
Yeah.
I sat up and looked around the dark room, actually feeling uncomfortable. The super high ceiling of the living room made me feel even more exposed. I heard a creak in the floor where the kitchen and living room meets.
Oh my god.
I looked in that direction. The fire was completely out now. There was no light in the room. Yet I thought I could see a person standing right where the kitchen starts. I said, "Is someone there?" expecting one of my family members to answer back.
Holy shit.
They didn't. The silhouette-looking shadow in the doorway of the kitchen was still there, though. I sat up just a little more to look closer at the doorway. The silhouette then started moving. It was a person. "Who is that?" I said louder. Whoever it was went towards the back door, and I heard the back door close. I started screaming for my family to wake up, and everyone came out of their rooms. Everyone. So what I had just seen was none of my family members. So my dad, brother, uncle, and I threw on our shoes and coats and ran out into the cold, looking around. We found a set of footprints in the snow leading into the woods. Mind you, it was like 2 in the morning, and the neighboring houses aren't exactly on top of each other. So none of us were exactly eager to go into the woods following some unknown person's footsteps.
Yeah, exactly.
We instead called the police, and while we waited for them, my brother and I stood in the backyard watching the woods. The creepy pitch-black woods where someone was hiding, potentially looking back at us without our knowledge. Everyone else was inside, looking to see if anything was stolen, and surprisingly, nothing of serious value was missing. But also, it's not like my parents had jewelry or money just sitting out in the open on the first floor.
Exactly.
The police officers who came followed the footprints into the woods as far as they could until the trail seemed to disappear or just became impossible to follow. They had not gotten any other calls regarding break-ins that night, at least not to that point. But the next day, nothing was on the news about any break-ins either. So it may have just been a one-off fluke thing where my parents' house happened to be the target of someone trying to steal valuables, like expensive Christmas presents potentially. I'll tell you one thing though. I had a rough time falling asleep that following night in that living room again.
Yeah, I
The
bet.
image of that person in the doorway to the kitchen still haunts me.
Guys, I don't even... Shit, that shit is scary. Like, I hate stories like this because that just makes me anxious. Like, imagine having a dream, someone yelling at you in a dream saying, "Oh my god, wake up, there's someone in the house," and then you you wake up and then you're like, "Oh shit, there's someone in the house," you know, fuck. That literally just, oh fuck, that just scares me. Like, it's 5:30 almost now. It's weird because I basically fell asleep around 12 or 1, then I fell asleep for like an hour or two. And then I woke up, went to McDonald's, and I've been up since then, and now it's 5:16. I don't really know, like, that just scares me, though, like, that's just scary shit, like, I don't know, like, just waking up, having a dream, someone yelling at you in a dream saying that there's someone in the house, like, you're gonna wake up and be like, what? You know what I mean? Like, there's, honestly, guys, dreams are so real, they feel so real, and that's no cap. Like, you guys obviously dream every night, like, you guys dream every night whether you remember it or not. There's dreams, you just don't remember them, or you do remember them. There's a lot of dreams that I do remember, and last night I had a dream that I actually kind of crashed my parents' car, because it was like really snowy, and I was driving like a psychopath for whatever reason, and I was like, skirt, and then I crashed. I was obviously okay, the car was okay, it was just kind of dented, and I was kind of like, you know what, I'm just gonna, because we park on the side of the road, right? So like my house is here, so I was like, okay, if the car's here, my house, the car. So if the damage is here, then obviously it's visible to the house. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to make sure that the damage is on this side, so this house sees it, not my house. So I think that's what I did. I don't know what happened with that, and then I think I was just like talking to some guy that I guess used to like or something, and I was like, yeah, do you want to hang out or something? Yeah, it was kind of weird. But I've definitely had dreams of like break-ins and people coming into the house and stuff like that. I literally had some nightmare dreams. I remember having back-to-back nightmares of someone dying or someone in my house trying to kill me or something. It was scary shit. Like, and it just feels so real that you wake up and you just don't want to go to bed. Like, you're like, bro, I refuse to go to bed because, like, I want to have this dream again. You know what I mean? It's just scary shit. Your dreams can feel so real, and that's no cap once again. But again, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. Be sure to comment down below. Be sure to comment down your thoughts. Has anything like this happened to you? I really hope not. Have you guys had calm Christmases and holiday seasons? Like, has it been nice and calm? I remember one time on New Year's Eve, I'm pretty sure I was like younger, like 14, 15, 16, maybe even a bit younger. And like when I was young, I was super, super paranoid about like people breaking in and people like, I was so nervous. Like I was 12 one time, right? I was 12 one time, and I literally remember it was like, I was home alone for like a few hours. I don't know why. I guess I didn't want to go somewhere. My parents went somewhere, and I was probably like 12 or 10 or 11. So I was home alone. The doorbell rang. I was literally, my heart was racing out of my chest. Like all someone did is ring the doorbell. Not try the door handle and not do anything. They just ring the doorbell. I'm literally hiding. Like I'm like shaking, quivering, hiding. Because like the front door's here. There's like little walls. It's hard to explain the layout. Like kind of like I was just hiding from the view of the door. I was just kind of like, oh shit, like I was terrified, and I can literally feel myself right now being scared. Like I'm like recreating it, and I can literally imagine myself like being so scared. I was like, holy fuck, my heart was racing. It was so weird. And this one time I was also a kid, and then I remember it was like midnight or something, or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. I think my sister already moved out at that point, but I have another sister who said, oh yeah, I'm not gonna come home tonight. So it's like 1:45 in the morning. The door handle goes off, and I'm like, or starts moving, and I'm like literally like far away, kind of like, because again my sister said she's not coming home that night, so, and I guess it was my fucking sister, and I was like, you fucking bitch, you said you're not coming home tonight, you fucking, it's like I literally crap myself that night, not actually, but probably almost did, yeah. Anyways, that's just some of my stories, whether it's a dream or experience. I remember I was also like watching my brother. It was like midday in the afternoon, like 1, 2 in the afternoon. I think it was like 1:40 p.m. I don't know why I remember the exact time. 1:40, 1:45. Someone tried the door handle. It didn't. It was locked, so they left. So I'm pretty sure it was legit. Someone going door to door, seeing if the door was unlocked. Like, bitch, what are you gonna do if it's open? Like, what if there's like a huge guy about to like murder your ass? That, you know, I don't know who it was, obviously, but all I remember is the door turning, and then I was like, oh, that was actually scary. Not gonna lie, that was actually really scary, because I was myself and I was watching my brother, and I was probably like a kid myself. I think I was like more 15 to 18 years old, probably. Fuck, okay, this is gonna be nervous now, so I don't want to get nervous anymore. I gotta go to bed soon, guys. This is why I don't like watching horror stories at nighttime. Thanks. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, happy holidays. We're not there yet, but happy holidays. I hope you guys have a safe, happy holiday season, and I'll definitely be back with you guys with more holiday videos, whether it's Christmas or whether it's horror stories or animated horror stories or Damian videos or other Christmas videos. I'll make sure to get a bunch of Christmas videos out for you guys this year, as I love doing each year, and I'll see you guys later. And again, please comment down below what your thoughts are on this video were, and if you guys have any stories of your own that you would like to share with me on the internet. Deuces. Peace.